Hi there, my name is Jason. I'm a tutor at Ruskin Mill College, and I also have a biodynamic blog called biodynamictrainee.com. And this is my video for the month of February, looking at the Maria Thun biodynamic planting calendar and seeing what's in store for the month ahead. Today, when I'm making this video, it's actually the 2nd of February, which is marked by the celebration of Candlemas. And that means that we're in the midpoint between the winter solstice on the 21st of December and the spring equinox on the 21st of March. So in our gardens and on our farms, we'll really notice that there's a lot more lights in the day. It's a lot brighter, and we'll also start to notice as we go through the month of February that the soil is also starting to warm up. And this really marks the beginning of the growing season. We should be able to start sowing some vegetables in our polytunnels and greenhouses. Ideally, we'll be waiting until the second half of February just to give it some time to really warm up. So we should be able to sow some spinach, some lettuce, some early varieties of cabbage, some parsley. We should start sowing some flowers. We could also, if the conditions are right, we could start off some tomatoes and chilies and peppers, and also we could sow some onions and some radishes. In the garden, it's also one of the last opportunities to continue pruning any remaining fruit trees, any apple trees, pear trees, quince trees that still need pruning before we really enter into springtime. Okay, so let's open the calendar and look at some key dates for February. So the moon begins in the constellation of Capricorn, and it will be transitioning to Aquarius on the 15th. We have a full moon on the 12th of February and a new moon on the 28th of February in Aquarius. We have perigee on Candlemas on the 2nd, and that's when the moon is closest to the earth, and it'll be followed 2 weeks later by apogee, and that's when the moon is furthest from the earth, and it actually overrules the moon in the constellation of Virgo, which is related to roots, and imposes a flower day here and here. So instead of being beneficial for tending to root plants, it becomes a good time to tend to flowers because of the intensification of light. As the moon is further away, it's still reflecting a lot of light from the sun. February the 8th is a very important transition because the moon actually reaches its highest point on its sidereal rhythm, and for the two weeks after that moment, the sun will always be descending, and that is especially important for activity that takes place under the soil and for root development. And so that will be continuing on for 2 weeks. So it's a really good time to maybe towards the end of, towards midway through the month, you could really get some vegetables started in the greenhouse. And obviously you have the corresponding constellations. So where it's brown, that's beneficial for sowing roots and transplanting roots. And then we have Libra, so that's in the yellow, so that's beneficial for flowers. Then we have Scorpio in the green, so that's beneficial time for sowing leaves. So that's a really good opportunity to start sowing lettuce and cabbage and spinach and all plants that benefit especially the leaf development. I just want to show you, this is the moon's journey through the month. It's a really useful graph. We can see here is this would be the 8th here, where the moon is at its highest point. And then it will start to descend towards the new moon. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. So Sunday the 9th is especially good for tending to flowers in the morning, and that's because of a trine, because of the planets Mars and Saturn. They're both in air constellations. So Mars is in the constellation of Gemini, and Saturn is in the Waterman, and they actually a trine, this triangle here is called a trine, and that's when the planets find themselves 120 degrees apart from each other. And then it so happens that that's happened when the moon is already in a flower sign in Gemini, so it becomes an especially good time for tending to flowers. There's a lot of beneficial energies for that day.